Welcome to Mike's apartment. My name is Kyler. Kyler with a capital K. My co-host is Chad with a capital C. Chad, where we at tonight?
Well, Chad with the C is for cool, man. We're totally like here to like spread the word about alpha culture, alpha male. That's why we're wearing these shirts because we're alpha males. In fact, this morning I had two protein shakes. Now this here protein says to add two scoops. Now maybe you add two scoops if you were a woman or a girly man or something. But man, if you're a man's man, four scoops. You don't get a bod like this with two scoops a day or per drink. And I've like I said, I had two this morning. I'm gonna have two before bed tonight, and I'm gonna be even better tomorrow. And good
And
luck catching up to me, anybody
and
else.
what I heard about our sponsors, muscle support, it doesn't just do muscle support, it's penile support too. You're going to get
Oh,
longer, you're going to get harder, you're going to go faster. Because we don't care about anyone else, we're going to go faster. So that's right. Bigger, harder, longer, faster. Now
just
buy our support protein drink.
yeah,
That's what we
just
want.
like the Daft Punk song. In fact, we should probably be playing that right now. Harder, faster, longer, stronger, or whatever it's called. I don't remember. It was a song written by men.
That's right. Since we're going to talk about a little bit of feminism here, I'm just going to say this.
Oh,
Chivalry,
oh,
chivalry
no.
is dead, and women killed it. And that's why we're here to teach you to be the asshole. You are going to learn. You will learn that, let me just throw this out here. Let's throw this out here. Now, do you think women should have rights? Why? I'll make it easier for you. Do you think women should have jobs? Why? I'll make it easier for you. Do you think women with a body count above 0 are okay? Hell no! Those women are for the streets! Tell it to us, Chad. Let's hear it, Chad.
I don't even want to talk about that. I'd rather talk about something, I don't know, hell, maybe iAtlas or whatever. Talk about that. I mean, come on, people. This thing that people are arguing, is it alien? Yeah, some people say yeah, and then the people are like, no, it's just a comet. Well, screw it. Let's just, I mean, the American NASA or whatever organizations say there's a lot of red tape to cut through. Well, shit. Let's have our Indian friends who fucking landed that lander on the moon with far more precision with for less than 80 million American dollars and compared to our 80, 4 billion whatever dollar satellites or landers. And they did it. Let's have them send the shit out there and see what it is and tell us, is it alien or is it just a regular old comet or whatever?
And that's great, because that hyperbole allows us to manipulate them. Ain't that nice? Now,
Why should we even have to worry about manipulating anyone? We're the alphas. They do
we're
what
the
we say.
alphas. That's right. Now. All right, guys.
God damn, that was hard.
It
I
was
was
hard.
hard.
That was hard.
Man.
This is Mike's apartment. This is Mike, and my co-host is Thom, as usual.
Yeah, we
We
did not mean any of that. That was total bullshit that we found online.
uh
So,
we hope you enjoyed it though. The incel thing
uh,
might be true though. Or I don't. The incel thing might be true.
I mean, among my pack of dogs, the two that I have, I am the alpha, meaning that I make the rules, boundaries, and limitations. But which, by the way, the alpha culture we were discussing this, I think, last night, came out of an old study on animals, like pack animals. I think you said this the
it's about
specifically
30
they
years.
looked at
Wolves.
wolves or
Yeah,
whatever.
gray wolves.
But
Yeah.
in a pack of wolves or dogs, you do have alpha dogs. One is the main alpha. You might have other dominant dogs, but then you also have a middle of the pack dog that or dogs that are kind of the friendly, playful. They want to make sure everybody's getting along. So if there's a fight, they might be sensitive to helping solve that. And then you have your back of the pack dogs, and that's not a bad thing. They're the ones who are alert and will tell the other dogs, by barking or whatever, that there's somebody new coming close. So it's in a pack of animals, they know their role, as The Rock used to say, know your role.
But
So,
the other thing though
but
too
with
is
humans,
well, and the other thing, it's not always males. Females can also be the
no, no,
alphas
no,
just as
yes,
easily
yes.
in the pack. So that's another thing.
Hmm.
Um, but let's talk about what we're gonna do tonight, really quick here. Tonight we are judging. Go ahead and say the label of this again.
Apologies to any of our British friends who have sensibilities about bad words, but this is a bloody sangria.
How did we make this, Tom?
All right, so it was the recipe called for a 750 milliliter bottle of. They recommended Merlot or Shiraz. I went with Merlot because I kind of like that more. And you went with the Menage a Trois, you said?
Which is also Merlot, but yeah,
Oh, it's a Merlot.
it is
Okay.
a Merlot. Just the
Oh, the
brand is
brand is. Oh,
yeah.
okay. I went with the Barefoot brand, but so you pour that in, and then you slice up an orange and a lemon, and you said you went with a blood orange. I just use a regular orange,
Mm-hmm.
and you cut it into wedges and squeeze the juice into the wine, and then you add the fruit into the wine. So like whatever's left that like the rind or whatever you call it, and uh, and then you add, if you're doing a 750 milliliter bottle of wine, you add a quarter cup of sugar and you stir that all together. And then when you're ready to serve it in, like, say, a punch bowl, like what you got behind you there, they recommended. So, well, there you
Sort
add.
of,
I can't remember
sort
what the
of.
amount of ginger. I can't remember what the amount of ginger ale was, but you add ginger ale to it. And then for the garnish, they recommended like candy eyeballs or gummy worms. Now, Mike didn't do any garnish. I have gummy worms in my glass, but you can't really see them. You'll probably see them later once I drink a little bit of this, but that's what this is. So it's, I think most sangrias I've made in the past, you also added brandy, but this is just wine. So it's probably not going to knock your socks off like, say, something with brandy in it does with some people. But and when I add brandy, I usually am a little more generous than the recipe calls for. But
But we're gonna knock your socks off tonight. Now,
yeah,
Mike's apartment system is 5 at the top. It's ambrosia. It's food of the gods. It's everything. The bottom 0, shit of the gods. It's the worst. I guess. Cheers. Let's try the
all right,
sangria out.
cheers.
Hmm.
Oh,
Wow. It's Hmm.
I've had sangrias before, but it's been a while. But I always
Not
like
like
them.
this.
But
Not like
this is
this.
this is
Yeah.
this
This is
this is really good.
it is good. I hope everyone wrote down that recipe. If not, we'll put it in the description also, so
Mhm.
you can read it later. All right. So what we're
Or
gonna
rewind.
yeah, or rewind. Well, if you want to rewind after that spectacle we gave you.
Yeah.
So our serious topic. We're gonna start out. Well, we have our serious topic, our entertainment topic. Serious topic will be we're just not necessarily a comparison, but maybe just like some thoughts about the differences between American actors and British actors, which
Mm.
often, there's a lot of crossover there. There's a lot of American films with British actors, a lot of British films with American actors. Just like what the differences are, and maybe like some thoughts on that. Our entertainment, well, because it is Halloween. If no one knows, well, almost. It's 2 days away for Halloween. We are going to talk about a horror movie, Freddy versus Jason. Pretty
One
popular
of
movie.
one of my faves. I
Me
love.
too.
I really do love that movie. So
I love it too. But all right, so I guess we'll start with the whole British versus American actors thing. And maybe I'll just start out here. Um, I'll say this. I I can't speak too much about British films. I mostly know about American films, right? I'll say why British actors are so successful in Hollywood and American cinema and things like that. And I would say that the reason that they are is here's the thing. In England, it's considered a craft. It's considered a career. And a lot of British actors actually go through a lot of formal training where they have to take on a lot of different roles, more so than American actors would. Like they go, and a lot of them have a theater background, which, and a lot of people undeniably, I mean, yeah, it might be deniably, but I would just say that it is one of those things where, Shakespeare, there's a lot of Shakespearean, you know, drama in England, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, all the Ophelia, whatever, A Midsummer's Night Dream, Julius Caesar. There's a lot of things. I would say a lot of those classically trained, British actors, they go through a lot. Like they're not just, you know, showing up and, acting and doing whatever. So for a lot of them, it's it's a craft, it's a career, it's their lifelong thing, and they have like this background in theater, which definitely helps them out, and they're prepared because before they even go into Hollywood, they've played a large range of roles already. They've already all the British, a lot of British, acting talent has already gone through that compared to like their American counterparts. Not to say, and then you jump over to the American counterparts. Well, the other undeniable truth is, Hollywood really is it. Really, if you think about it, it is in America. It's in California. That's where the height of the world's, movies, everything else. Things might be filmed in different places, but that's like where it all happens. So despite, British acting talent having those advantages, it's not like London has some monopoly on, making movies like America, like they do in America.
Or TV shows.
Or TV show. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of that stuff is filmed there. I would say there's a lot of movies also and things like, and I'm talking about the English speaking world, obviously. In
Yeah.
other countries that might be different, but in the English speaking world, there's that's the dichotomy. I guess I would say is, I would say British acting talent, they have more experience, they have better training, they have whatever, but most of the movies are made in America. They're not made in I don't know. What do you think, Thom? What are your thoughts?
So, oh, excuse me. I guess I didn't mute that quite. Sorry about that.
Oh man.
But well, I'm a man's man. I got to do that. Screw everybody else. If I got to do it, I got to do it. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, British actors. I don't. Did you say British versus American actors? Because
no, not versus,
okay,
but just the difference.
okay,
You could
okay.
say that, but just the differences. Yeah.
So, one of my favorite TV shows from when I was a kid, and then they rebooted it in 2005, and it's been going pretty much ever since. Lately, they had some questions about where it's going to end up, but I don't know. We won't get into that. But Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic British sci-fi show. It started in the 60s, and they've kept it going by saying that the core character, the Doctor, when his body dies, it can regenerate up to 12 times. And so then when it regenerates, they bring back another actor who may have different characteristics, but it's just a different side of that same character. Still the Doctor. And I've always loved that show. I guess in the 90s, they were trying to bring it over to the US. They had a made-for-TV movie that I guess didn't go over so well, but has since garnered, some love and whatever respect. But because they had the Doctor come to New York, and I think he regenerated as was he an American? I'm trying to remember, but anyways, just a second here.
But of course, my good man.
What the whistle. But they've had I'm not too familiar with like a lot of like British actors, but they have a lot of famous actors from Britain that will come into the show either as guests. Actually, if you remember, like the Shaun of the Dead trilogy, you had Shaun and Chris. What's the actor's name? The other guy's name, Sean, his friend.
I don't know.
Well, both of them, Sean and his friend from those movies, were in Doctor Who,
Oh,
um, in different episodes. I was one of us. Can I look it up on IMDb, Mike?
I guess if we must, if we
I think his
must,
last. I
we.
got the feeling his last name is Christmas, but I don't want to. Anyways, let's see here. Sean is spelled Shawn
Yes,
because we're Americans.
AUN. Yeah, not a. Yeah.
This is America. We got to spell it
S
the way we do it.
S SEAN CN Scene? No, I'm just kidding. SEA
So
SEN.
so Simon Pegg and then Nick Frost.
Oh
That's what
yeah,
his
yeah,
name.
yeah,
Nick
yeah,
Frost.
yeah. Simon Pegg.
Both of
Yep.
them.
Yeah.
Both of them were in different episodes of Doctor Who, and Nick Frost played Father Christmas. Santa Claus, and that was a fun Christmas special. He was fantastic. Gave out tangerines to everybody for whatever reason. I don't know if that's a. I never looked into it. They kind of made it a joke, but so I don't know if that's a thing somewhere. But I for me also growing up, like so like in the late '90s. I guess I was already grown up. I graduated in '96. I'm giving away my age. Um,
You're a bit older than I
Graduated high school.
am.
Yeah. But anyways, so there was like the movie called The Others with Nicole Kidman.
Yep.
If you
It's
remember
a
that movie, and
yep,
then
I
of
do.
course,
Wonderful movie.
The Resident Evil movies. You had the what was the AI called that ran the facilities?
Red
Red
Queen.
Queen.
Yeah, Red Queen. Yeah.
I like all those little kids, and then also there were some episodes of The Dog Whisperer where he was in England, and I remember they interviewed some of the kids from the families, and I'm like, these kids just sound so proper compared to like our kids. It's like they're just like on their phones, and I have two boys, and I'll be like, I'll ask them questions like, "Yep, uh-huh." I'm like, "No, I asked you what do you want for supper?" I'm like, "What?"
What
So,
what was it in
but
the what was it? I got to do the others really quick. You brought up the others. I got to bring up the others. Hold on.
yeah.
It was.
Oh, I
Am
haven't seen.
but I am your daughter. And she's like this old woman. She's like because remember 'cause she
Oh
was.
yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna give a spoiler. They're ghosts, and they're actually in modern times. They're holding a séance. And they're summoning the
yeah.
ghosts, and she's like sitting there. She's like, "But I am your daughter." But
So I
With
that
the English voice, yeah. But
that,
I
that
am your
might have been
daughter.
that might have been. I think I said '90s for that, but it might have been
It
2000s.
was early.
But
It was like 2000 or 2001. It was very early 2000s for that movie.
but I remember I was delivering newspapers overnight, and I think I had ordered it from that Suncoast video place that none of our audience has probably ever heard of because they're too young. But anyways, I brought it home. I was been working over all night, and I put it on, and I fell asleep watching it. And I had the weirdest dreams watching it.
I'm sure.
But fantastic movie. But I do love British accents. There was a show. I don't. I think they're done. I think it's been off. I think they've been done filming it for a while. Called House. About he was a doctor. He was an
Oh
American
yeah,
doctor,
House MD.
and
Yeah.
I and
Hugh Lowry. Hugh Lowry.
is that his name?
Hugh Lowry.
I
Yep.
just remember hearing that he could not do an American accent unless if he memorized his lines with an American accent. He couldn't ad lib it or something.
Sure.
So as far as like trying to do other accents, I think he did amazing with that show because I believed he was an American. American. But anyways, but American actors, I don't really know much about like the training between the two countries' background. I'm sure a lot of American actors have had a lot of training too, because we have a lot of
Um,
American actors that can
in
do great accents.
well, we also have some that do horrible. Now, let me.
Oh yeah, same with the British.
well, hold on.
I've seen movies where it was British actors trying to be Americans, and they were all over the place with their
Let me
accents.
let
But
me talk
for the
about an
most part,
American. Let me talk about an American who tried to do a super popular
mm,
Michael C. Hall,
mm.
Dexter. Dexter.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't now. You may not have realized this. Between Dexter, he did a Netflix, and I forget the name of the show. He did a Netflix show where he had a British accent. It was
Mm.
literally hard to watch. And don't get me wrong,
Was it?
I love Michael C. Hall. I think Dexter is an amazing show. I think his acting talents are amazing. He can't
Mm.
do he can't do accents though. He also tried in the newest version, Dexter Resurrection. At one point, he tried to do a New York accent, and it was horrible
Mm.
too. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Michael C. Hall has a lot of abilities. He has a lot of things that he could do. One thing he can't do is accents, though. He's an American. Like, I don't know what state he's from exactly, but like, yeah, that British show, that was the show where he was trying to be a British person. It was horrible. It was the worst. Like me, despite the hat, me and my girlfriend were watching it, and we're sitting there. We're like, no way. No way. He's sitting there like trying to, and obviously he was coached, and you could
Mm.
tell that he was trying, but it was just like
Mm.
it was so obviously wrong. Now,
Mm.
back to what you're saying
Well,
about the training though. I think in
mm.
in New York City, what's the name of that? What's that?
Juilliard
Yeah,
School.
Juilliard.
Juilliard.
So yeah,
Okay.
America does have a famous like acting type environment. I think it's just though it's not on the same level though as in Great Britain or Ireland.
Mm.
All of Great Britain. I just feel like they have more of a good basis. They actually have formal schools where they train. And then on top of that, they almost always have a theater background too, which I think
Mm.
does give them a chance to experience a
Mm.
range of it's not just
Yeah.
voice, it's not just an accent. It's not just
Yeah.
it's playing complex characters like let's say like Sean Connery, Patrick Stewart, God, who else? Jason Statham, even. Statham, whatever his name is. I don't know. There's a bunch of British actors though that do phenomenally well, in American
Yes, yeah.
cinema.
I
And
wanted I wanted to point out another actor that we spoke about, was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Keanu Reeves. We love
mm,
Keanu Reeves. He was in Dracula. Did they call it Bram Stoker's Dracula or just Dracula? But
It's Bram
he
Stoker's. Yeah,
he was in it with Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder, and his British accent
pretty
was
good.
not good.
No,
I from what I saw, I haven't seen it's. If I have seen the movie, it's been a long time, but I saw a review of it, and the clips that they played, I was like, oh man,
now
I
because I'm super
I don't, he's
immature.
probably
Oh,
he's doing better than probably I would. So I'm not
but
gonna. I don't mean that out of any disrespect for Keanu. I mean, he's a great guy and has made some of the best movies. Been in some of the best movies. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that too because you were talking about those
I'll
other
just
actors.
say that movie makes up for it because there's
Yeah,
there's
it's
boob
still
there's boobies in it.
oh
Oh wait, I gotta
okay.
be immature here. Yeah, there's boobs in it, so yeah, it makes up for it. So still watch that movie.
Only if you're a man.
But yeah, Keanu Reeves should have went in there
No,
and
I'm kidding.
Keanu Reeves should have went in there and been like, "Oh, dude, I don't know, dude, I don't know, Rufus, I don't know. Sorry, that's from
Rufus. I
Rufus.
think I
What happened
Rufus,
to
I
our
missed my
Homer? Yeah,
I missed my opportunity. Take me
dude,
back.
dude. Oh, Dave Grohl. Who's it? Dave. Who's
Dave
that?
Grohl.
Grove.
Dave
Oh,
Grohl.
we're in Dave Grove's house. Oh, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I guess we didn't write that song.
That was kind of
But
crazy. That was. Anyways, we actually
oh,
we have previous episodes with Keanu. We not only have a, we not only have Bill and Ted's like the Bill and Ted's
mm,
but that
Excellent
whole
Adventure,
yeah, that whole
the trilogy,
franchise.
yeah.
We have one on that. We have an episode on that whole franchise, and then we also have an episode just on Keanu Reeves. So don't think that we hate on Keanu Reeves here. We love him, but no, he
Yeah,
cannot
no,
do.
yeah, nothing but love and respect. No, that
But
guy is fantastic.
but he cannot do an accent. I mean, well, he has his
Not a British
accent.
accent, but
Not that
well,
anyways.
maybe he's better at doing a British accent now, but he doesn't have to worry about that.
The world
Um,
may never know. All right, so I mean, unless you have anything else, I mean, we're not necessarily grading anything here. We're just saying, that's the differences that, we could talk about in the acting talent. And different people have their, but there's a lot of overlap, and I would say
mhm.
in general, for the English speaking world, both America, England, everywhere, Australia, everywhere else, we're better off for having so much overlap because of the overlap
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
integration of our, talent
Yeah,
and and everything else and our
and not
film. And
and
we
not
do
not
great because of it. We do great because of the
and we're
interaction.
not. We don't mean to disrespect any of the other film industries out there because there's a fantastic film industry in Vancouver. We have Bollywood, and I found out talking to some of my Indian friends at work while I think I was on a war room or something, and we were just waiting, and we were waiting for something. I was like, so we were talking about different Indian things, and I brought up Bollywood, and if I understood correctly, I think they have a couple other areas too in India that produce films and stuff, but Bollywood's the most famous. Then of course you have the Asian areas like Korea, China, Japan, and
Hong Kong,
Vietnam,
Hong
Hong
Kong
Kong. Yeah,
cinema though. Hong Kong cinema is especially well known in the English world. I mean,
yeah. Australia has produced
yeah.
some great shows. I watched a couple on Netflix. Netflix has got a lot of great foreign films. There's some Russian shows and stuff I watched there. So we're kind of focusing on England and the U.S. with this. So I mean, maybe in some other videos we can talk about some of the other industries because I
Sure.
love I love like Sweet Home and Alice in Borderland. I think were those Korean or I'm sorry if I can't remember correctly. I apologize. I don't mean to offend anybody if I got it wrong, but fantastic
Well,
shows though.
I'm offended. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Dude,
So
have a protein shake
only if I could take 6. No.
and shove it up your ass.
Now, all right. So what are we gonna do with this? All right, Tom. Let's hop over here. Let's hop into
Okay.
the drink. 5 or 0 through 5. What is it?
So I really do like it. It's better than average, but I think as far as like sangrias go, I think I might like it. Some of the others more like brandy and some like because I would also make those I think with like mixed berries and stuff. So I think I kind of like those a little more. So I might say this is around a 3.5 to maybe 3.75. I think I'll stick with 3.5 for now. And next week I'll give you an update if I change my mind. After I've had the rest of this pitcher, I might change my mind. So, because my mind will be changed by then.
You won't. You may not have a
It'll
mind
be.
after
I
so
shouldn't
many.
say changed. I should say altered.
You may not have a brain after we're done with this. Now, I'll just say 3. Kyler says 3. It's all right.
What does Mike say? What does Mike say?
He also says 3. Now, this is okay. I mean, this is all right. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a sangria person, but I'm not
Well, I
really.
mean, the gummy. If you put gummy worms in there, by the way, this was the only
Um,
brand that weren't the trolleys that have like all the sugar on the outside
are those
that they had. So
are those THC gummies?
no, these are. I got these from Cub. I don't know if they sell. Well, they might in their pharmacy, but I don't know. These are
The
just or
pharmacy.
gluten free, fat free, low sodium. So maybe that's why they don't. I tried them just plain, and I was like, I don't know. I like the ones that I grew up with, which probably had corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup and stuff in them. I don't know, but
Okay, so that's where we're at for that. So let's hop ahead here. Now we're gonna talk about
Freddy
Freddy
versus
Jason.
Jason.
Yep, Freddy versus Jason. kind of go over it a little bit. They kind of tried to. It is a
Well, they
versus movie, but it's also the whole reason everything. I mean, they did like some things. Obviously they had to have the nudity, the young sex, the young, whatever
yeah.
things go. They had a lot of the similar concepts between the horror movies. Um,
And those two movies, I think, kind of established the whole, virgin being the one that makes it to the end alive trope,
yep,
which then the other movies copied that. But uh, Freddy versus Jason was originally introduced in the well, I don't think it was. I I think New Line Cinema bought the series out around episode, or pardon, not episode, the eighth movie. I think Jason Takes Manhattan, and then they had Jason Goes to Hell, and at the end they showed like the dirt ground whatever with Freddy's not Freddy, Jason's hockey mask is on the ground, and then Freddy's clawed hand comes out. And you hear like a laugh, and he pulls it under.
yep.
And so they spent over a decade trying to get the movie together, and I think it was in development hell because I guess they had all these different kind of scripts, and I heard some stories about what some of them were like based on, and I don't remember the details, but the movie that we saw, I think was like the perfect vehicle for a Freddy versus Jason movie. And also before we get into the movie, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, I think it was uh, the seventh movie, Friday the 13th movie through the 10th. Jason was played by a stunt actor named Kane. Was it Kane Hodder? Was that his name?
He's also in Jason X, but yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
no, that's what I'm when I said the 10th one. X means
Oh,
10. That's a Roman numeral.
oh, I,
So
I, well,
so anyways,
I get that part, but it's also that's the only one that's like sci-fi,
yeah. Well,
futuristic,
Jason Goes to Space could be the other name for it. Well, fantastic movie. I love that movie.
like like the Muppets go to space and you find out Gonzo's actually an alien species, kind of like that. I don't know. Anyways,
but anyways,
yeah,
in the there were a lot of people who didn't like the eighth movie, Jason Takes Manhattan, because like when he gets unmasked at the end, his face looks cheap, look cheap makeup. What they were running out of money, I think, for that movie. But anyways, there was a scene, and that movie was mostly shot in Vancouver, by the way. But anyways, there was a scene where the two main characters are being chased by Jason, and they run into like this, like a restaurant. It might have been a bar, because I don't know. But there was anyways, they ran up to like the counter, and they're like talking to the waitress, like, "You got to help us. There's this like madman who's trying to kill us." And the lady's like, "Welcome to New York, honey," or whatever. But anyways, there's this huge guy behind the bar who's like a bartender or server, or I don't know what he was doing. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it. But Jason comes in and like just tosses the guy across, over the counter of the restaurant and into this huge mirror and just smashes it. Well, that guy, he was a stunt actor as well. He played Jason in the Freddy versus Jason movie, and there were a lot of people upset about that. And people were, there were a lot of rumors going around about why they chose him over Kane Hodder. Well, because he's taller. They want to make him look a lot bigger than Freddy or whatever. But what it comes down to is what we think, what some people think it comes down to, is that it was shot in Canada. And if a movie or TV show is filmed in Canada, you have to have a certain percentage of like the actors and staff, whatever, be from Canada. So if you look at like the actors, you'll notice like the excuse me the girlfriend of the first guy that dies in the movie, she's a Canadian actress. The police officer who helps him, he's from Canada. And then the guy who's playing Jason's from Canada. There's a lot of the it might have just come down to the fact that they had to have a certain number of people from Canada, and you can have anybody play Jason as long as they're big enough, because he wears a mask.
sure.
Whereas Freddy, that has to be Robert England because he's not wearing a mask and everybody knows him. So
Well, He's wearing a mask, but it's not one
Well,
that.
he's
Yeah,
wearing
yeah.
he was wearing
Makeup,
makeup,
makeup, yeah, or whatever.
and
It's probably
and
some kind of prosthetic. I mean, I'm sure it's some kind of because that have that fired
yeah,
that burnt face. It's probably something that's I don't know. I'm not
yeah. Well,
exactly
no,
sure.
no, I said makeup, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
when it changes in all the movies, some of the movies it just looks terrible. It looks like a
yeah. It just
rubber.
looks like dummy, yeah,
But
stuff. Yeah.
Robert England's fantastic, and he did most of his own stunts, from what I understand. Like all the underwater stuff he did. But anyways, and he was in his 50s, I think, when he did it.
Well, Kane,
Uh,
Kane, whatever is not much better. He was in his
Kane
50s or
Hodder,
I think he was in his 60s when he did Jason X. I mean, he was
yeah.
old. He was older
Oh,
too.
I
Yeah.
think it was Friday the 13th, 4, when they killed Jason. Jason's the last, what I can't remember what they called it, but the guy who played Jason in that movie, if you look at his credits, he was also the creature from the Black Lagoon
Mm.
from like the 50s or 60s, the black and white movie, and so when the review I saw, they pointed out when he runs like an old man. So, but anyways, back to Freddy
Uh,
versus Jason.
yeah. So basically, the movie doesn't start out like that. It's basically about this town, where whatever town it is that Freddy is from, and on the same street, he was a serial
Elm
killer.
Street.
Yeah, yeah, Elm
Mm.
Street, obviously, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, he was a serial killer who eventually the parents took matters into their own hands, lit him on fire, killed him, but he came back. Yeah,
Lynch mob,
yeah,
right?
yeah, he was lynch mob, but it was by the parents of the kids that he had been killing, and
Mm.
they burned him alive, and he comes back, but in
As
the
a demon thing,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, what something that can control dreams and nightmares. He's like a very whatever. That's one of his. Obviously, he has the clawed hand and whatever too, but the thing was what happened was a lot of the kids in this town, he had been affecting their dreams. So one of the parents came up with this drug, this sleeping medicine, to make them where they don't dream anymore. To eventually, their plan was to stop people from remembering Freddy, right?
Hypnocell.
Yeah,
Hypnocell, I think it's called.
Hypnosil, yeah. So these kids, some of the kids were kept at this mental institute, like this institute where they
A
just be
psych
kept.
ward. Yeah,
Yep,
it was
and
a psych
they
ward.
just
Yeah.
be kept on that. But what happened was Freddy, who obviously was in hell and has been other wherever he's been, he wanted to use Jason to bring back the fear. So
Mm.
he somehow got Jason to come back alive into this town, and he wanted Jason. So he allowed Jason like little short bursts to kill people, so they would think something's going on, but maybe not necessarily Jason. Just they wanted the fear to come back because they wanted the name of Freddy. Freddy wanted
Yeah,
the
yeah.
memories to come back, and
But yeah.
so yeah, the girlfriend, one of the well, the girl, what the main lead girl,
The main girl, yeah.
she was the girlfriend of
Lori, I think her name was Lori.
was it? Yeah, Lori, and her and her group of friends, whatever was going on, but her boyfriend had disappeared, and then she finds out.
Never wrote or anything like that. Never called.
Yeah, never called, nothing happened, but he eventually they get some kind of honestly I don't remember exactly, but they get some kind of message
I can
out.
tell you.
Oh, you do know? Okay, go
I,
ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I rewatched it twice on Sunday. Well, the first
Oh,
time I
you
watched
did.
it around noon. I
Oh.
watched it around noon, and there was like a glare on my TV, so I couldn't see everything because it's dark. And so rewatched it again Sunday night.
Ah.
So what happens is, so remember that Canadian actress I mentioned? Her boyfriend's the first to die. So Lori, whose dad is the doctor that had her boyfriend institutionalized, her boyfriend and his friend, and then was prescribing all the Hypnosil. But anyways, pardon me, she was having a party with two of her girlfriends, the Canadian actress, and then Kia, who was
Oh,
on Destiny's Child.
nose job girl, right?
Yeah, she was in Destiny's Child with Beyonce, and I
Oh.
don't remember the other two girls' names. But anyways, Now that was back when I think they thought that you had to have some kind of hip hop star in your movie. So like LL Cool J and all, DMX and all them got acting roles. But anyways, so they actually played um, FMK with like the Three Stooges. Remember we did that episode, the FMK?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Fuck,
I
Mary
thought of
kill.
you when they did that. Yeah. So anyway, so they were having a party. Well, no, just the three of them. And then why can't I think of the actress's name in the movie? That Canadian girl, whatever, wanted some beer, and so she was going to go to the store. She opens up the door, and her boyfriend and one of his friends were there, and had beer. They looked at, hey, I got a 24 pack, and she's, oh, you're my savior, and she gave him a kiss, and he's like, oh, babe, I don't like it when you kiss me after you've been smoking, because she'd been smoking in the house. It's like, but they're menthols. So anyways,
Oh
give me a
yeah,
second.
and they wanted to have sex, and
And
he's
he's like,
like,
dude,
babe, I
he's
got a
like,
kink in my neck or whatever. What did he say?
yeah, yeah.
My neck is cramped or
And
something.
then he was totally an alpha male in that movie, because he like stuck his head back into the living room. He's like, babe, don't make me ask twice or whatever. And so I'm gonna pour another drink here. But anyways, so I don't want to go into all the details. Jason gets into the house, murders the boyfriend, and then leaves. And So the story ends up on the news, which when Lori's boyfriend and his best friend were getting their drugs at the mental institution, there was a TV in the background that was actually playing, I think, Friday the 13th, #3.
Mm.
And then there was a news interruption, and it was they showed it was about the murder at the house on Elm Street, and he's like, "Dude, that's Lori's house." And then the guy at the counter like changed the channel, and they flipped out. So, anyways, that's how they found out about it. And so then the boyfriend is like, "We got to get out of here. I got to warn Lori," because he thought Lori's dad was the one who killed her mom. Her mom was murdered by Freddy. And well, spoilers. But anyways, so
Mhm.
yeah, movie came out in what, 2001 or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't remember. But anyways, he thought that her dad had killed her mom, and so he wanted to warn Lori. And so then his best friend went out into like the common area, and there was like an office off of it where that guy that was giving out the meds. Um, there was like a window between the two, and the guy got up, pulled down his pants, and like rubbed his butt against the window and farted, and then was like going around, jumping around like a monkey in there in the common room. And so then
What
they,
was that movie with Brad Pitt? Seven Monkey or
oh, no, 12
12
Monkeys.
Monkeys? Yeah, and he also did the
Him
same.
and Bruce Willis. Oh,
Yeah,
he did the same thing.
no, no, not the
Oh, so
same.
they,
Yeah, no, he didn't do the same thing, but he did something like to act all crazy. I don't know, to try to get another drug.
I gotta rewatch that movie. I got it somewhere,
Yeah,
but
it is similar. I think it's similar. I don't think it's exactly the same, but I think it's similar.
no,
Yeah, enough.
but there is it's a lot of mental stuff going on, and you got to really think to follow it. But anyways, I think that movie took place in the future, and then they sent people back in time or something. I can't remember. But anyways, um,
Other way around. It took place in the past, and they sent people in the future to come back and try to. Remember,
so
there's the whole time travel. Anyway, we'll talk about 12 Monkeys in another show. But anyways,
so so anyways, they like shot him up with drugs or whatever to sedate him, but he got that doctor's badge and keys.
yep.
Which, by the way, what bothers me is that doctor never reported his badge and keys were missing, because they later on used his badge and keys to get back into the building.
Yeah.
So, which, like, if they would have reported it right away, it would have been disabled. So, anyways, maybe the keys wouldn't have been.
So,
But
and now I haven't seen the movie in a few years, but I remember after that happened, there was like a rave in like a cornfield,
yep,
right? And that's where they killed the one girl who was the girl. Well, not Lori, but the other girl.
The Canadian actress
Yeah, and
that I keep saying.
and that one guy tried to like rape her or something like that. The
Yeah,
weirdo who,
the guy with all the glow sticks.
yeah, or whatever he was supposed to be. But then Jason shows up. He starts killing people.
Yeah. Well, so real quick, so Freddy has been throughout the movie, course of the movie, he's been trying to kill some of the kids, but he's not strong enough. So finally, he's strong enough, and the Canadian actress, her character, had been drinking a lot, and the rave was a party to honor the boyfriend who'd been killed brutally. And and also, by the way, the cops are trying to keep a hush on this because they think it's Freddy's come back. And Lori overheard them at the crime scene talking about Freddy, some Freddy guy. And
and
so,
what's the rhyme again? 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
for you, 3,
3,
4,
4.
I don't remember.
Better
But
lock
anyways,
your doors. 5. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
locking your door is not going to do anything. But
Not-
anyways, but that was real quick and important. Well, I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to say anything. Because I think people may want to still watch the movie and be surprised if they haven't seen it.
Sure.
But anyways, so at that point, she had passed out, and that was the first person that Freddy was strong enough to kill. And so he's playing with her and tormenting her like he does other characters in previous movies. And as he's about to kill her, that other guy's trying to rape her, and then Jason just takes this pipe and goes, and Freddy gets sprayed with blood, and she just disappears, and he's like, no. So he starts getting mad at Jason because Jason's just out of control, you know.
And like he
sees all
uses
these-
his he goes into Jason's dream and becomes like his mother who's berating him, and then he's
Yeah.
like the little kid who gets drowned because Jason's story was he was the ugly kid who got drowned at Crystal Lake.
he was deformed. He was deformed.
Yeah,
and I think he had some mental issues, and
He was drowned by the kids at Crystal Lake, and that's why
because
he
he
came
couldn't
back.
swim.
Yeah, and he came
Well,
back.
he couldn't swim. They pushed him off, and the counselors were off having sex and doing drinking or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's. But anyways, so we're so anyway, the whole Jason going into his dream that takes a little explaining, and I wanted to point out something else as well. I think this movie kind of I'd have to go back and rewatch the Friday the 13th movies, not because I don't remember all of the tropes that they went through. Those movies were all over the place with like how things work. Whereas the Nightmare on Elm Street, they kind of would introduce things. They might just kind of forget certain things, but they wouldn't necessarily contradict it. But in the second movie of Nightmare on Elm Street, it was more of a possession movie. Did you watch that one? The one where the hero was the
decades.
guy, but it was more of a possession story because he's like, you've got the body and I've got the mind. So he's trying to take over the kid's body. And it was the only one where the protagonist was a guy. So he was like kind of controlling the kid and in certain areas, and there a lot of stuff happened. So anyways, fast forward to Freddy versus Jason. So the kids find out that with the help of the police officer, that decides to help them. Long story short.
Oh, and hold on, one other character, the marijuana kid, the guy who's addicted to pot, who gets possessed
Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, or basically Jay
well,
from Jay and
he's
Silent
supposed
Bob.
to. He does. It's not him, but he looks like he's the long-haired
he's
stoner.
got the long hair. He's like,
Stoner.
Hey, is it time for a Jay break yet? No, we're in the middle of trying to save our lives.
And
But
he's
dude,
the one
come on.
he's the one who Freddy possesses later to fight Jason. He's
Yeah.
like, I have
So,
this
well-
bitch, and he slams those 2 syringes
Yeah.
into his.
Well,
Hey,
I
you
was
go
going to
ahead,
get to that.
Oh,
I was
sorry. Okay.
getting to that. So
Okay.
So they go. This is kind of one of the things I mentioned earlier, where they go back. They figure out there's this drug called Hypnosil that stops dreaming because the boyfriend told everybody, oh, when we were at the facility, we never dreamt. And they're like, well, were you taking any drugs? He says, well, there's one thing called Hypnosil. And so they're like, well, we got to go get enough for all of us, so then we can like survive at least because Kia, from the girl from Destiny's Child, was like, "We're not safe if we're awake or dead or sleep." So, so they decided to go back to the facility and use the badge, which should have been deactivated, to get back in and get the hypnosil. So they end up splitting up for various reasons, and the kid Jay, let's just call him Jay. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
He's like, I want a Jay break, So he ends up smoking a joint, and then there's like this caterpillar, kind of like a la, Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland, yeah.
Comes in with this huge, what are they called, like a hookah? He's like, takes a huge whiff off, pull off it, and that blows the smoke in Jay's face, and the kid's getting high off of it, whatever. And then that's when Freddy, as the caterpillar, goes into the other room, to another room, and Jay follows him. And he's like, "Where did he go?" And then he looks up because there's like stuff dripping down on him, and Freddy jumps down and goes into his throat and possesses him. So then he dumps out all the hypnosil that he could find, and then gets a bunch of what do you call it? Like drugs that make you sleep, whatever. Anesthesia.
Sedatives, yeah.
So he like stuffs, he like fills like 2 like syringes full, and then as Freddy's chasing the kids, that's when he does the whole jumps up on Jason, and then whatever. Jason cuts him in half, and then falls over because he's sedated. So,
and that's where the dream, yeah.
So, but anyways, I guess maybe I don't want to. Are we okay with like spoiling any more of the movie? Because
I mean,
so before that, the movie's been played pretty straight. But then, like when they start getting into the Freddy versus Jason fights, it gets kind of Looney Tunes. But it's still good. I still love it.
I think it's really good when they're fighting on the dock at the end, and well, there's a few other scenes that happened before that, but I think the dock scene was pretty cool. I thought. I don't know.
I said I had something I wanted to show you.
Oh, sure. Oh, you actually do have a Freddy. What?
I got these with the special edition Freddy versus Jason, and I tried. I tried ripping Freddy's arm off, but I couldn't get Jason to hold it so he could punch it through the back of Freddy. But anyways, spoiler. So
yeah.
But anyways, so I actually had my AI look up to see how much those figurines might be worth, and I could get like $10 to $25 depending on the condition. So no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to sell these. If they were worth like $1,000, I might, but
yeah. So I guess we would just say, watch Freddy versus Jason. I don't have a lot of other thoughts here. Anything else you want to finish up with, Thom, or?
I mean, the 2 different series had a lot of ups and downs as far as like the quality of the movies and the writing goes. But Freddy, I think with Freddy versus Jason, they do a good job of explaining things for you in like some exposition scenes. So you don't necessarily have to have seen all the other movies. Some of the background might, I was going to say some of it might be kind of confusing, especially like the Freddy Goes to Hell, not Freddy, Jason Goes to Hell, the 9th Friday the 13th movie, which was not Friday the 13th. It was just Jason Goes to Hell.
Sure.
Because they introduced a lot of mythology that was never ever mentioned before, and a lot of so
Jason, I will say this, one of my favorites is Jason X, just because it is funny as hell. There's so many humorous scenes. It's like not even it's kind of a horror movie, but really it's more of a comedy. I mean, it is such a comedy. Like where they did the holodeck thing with the 2 girls, and like, I want to have sex, I want to get high, and he's like grabbing one of them, the sleeping bag is like beating her, and he's like, he can't figure it out
against a tree. I think he did that in one of the other earlier movies too, but
it was so stupid. I mean, it was funny. It was funny, stupid though. It was. Yeah. It was.
No,
good,
it was, and but that was one of the few that had like no sex in it. So
it had sex in it.
they did.
Yeah,
Oh,
the two kids.
oh no, they did. They
Yeah.
did. They did in one scene. But
Yeah,
there
one
was like
scene. Wow.
the only scene you had any nudity in was that holodeck where the girls took their
Yeah.
shirts off. But
I have a lot of good memories
but
of that.
but no, I think I honestly. So when I was growing up, like say in the 80s and 90s, I didn't like. Well, I I thought I was kind of brainwashed a little bit, so I didn't watch those movies because they were evil.
Oh.
But so the first Jason movie I saw was Jason X,
Mm.
and
Oh,
then
really? Okay.
uh, and then Freddy versus Jason, and then a few years later, I actually no, I think I kind of forgot about those movies because I um, was doing other things and watching other movies and other horror movies, but then I saw a review of the Nightmare on Elm Street movie series, and then I saw another review of the Friday the 13th movies, and
Mhm.
I was like, maybe I'll just go back and watch all those, and then I finished those, and then I went back. I was like, what about Hellraiser?
Oh, yeah.
So I watched those. What about Puppet Master? Well, those movies are all over the place, and I haven't seen any of
Warlock?
the ones since like 2000.
Have you seen
I'm not.
Warlock? None of the three
Wait,
Warlock. There's three Warlock movies. They're pretty good.
no. What was the one with where Tim Curry played the devil
None. It was
with Tom? No,
oh, the
Tom
devil.
Cruise,
Sorry.
young Tom Cruise, and
What movie? I'm confused. I don't. Not. It wasn't any
give
of the
me a
Warlock.
second.
Warlock movies. It was Julian Sands who played the Warlock, and then the third one. It was not. It was some guy who I've never heard of before. A young Tom Cruise and Tim Curry. Huh.
Legend,
What was that called?
Legend, and I'm trying to
Oh,
remember the actress who was in it.
I don't think I've ever seen it, so I don't know. I'll have to
It's
watch it.
it's kind of it's uh it's a little more on like the scary side, but it seemed more like kind of like a kids movie almost. It's kind of a fairy tale sort of thing, and
Okay.
um, but I won't go into the
Okay.
details because
All right.
I can't remember the storyline. We're on a different subject anyways.
Yeah.
So
So all right. Well, we don't have anything else. We hope if you liked what you saw, subscribe, like, comment, share, do whatever.
make a bloody sangria
Make a
and drink
bloody,
it.
make a bloody sangria. All right. Good night, everyone. Have a great Halloween.
Yes, good night.